Hey guys, before I hop into this reaction, I just want to ask you guys a question. Now, over the past couple of videos, I have not shown my face in the full reactions. If you are from TikTok and stuff like that, your face my face is still showing. But the question I have for you guys is, do you like those type of videos, or as you're gonna see today, I have my face in the video. So just let me know in the comments below of this video which one you like more, and that's why I will go with. Yes sir, we got more college football 26 news for you guys. Shout out to Eric Rayweather once again. I'm always checking out his videos. Be sure to subscribe to him as well. Cause he's got some of the best, like, as far as like sharing details that I like. He's one of the best in my opinion. So this one was a trailer that EA dropped, which I did react to. It's on my channel right now, so be sure to check that out right after this one. And it was the Dynasty deep dive. Now, you guys, some of you guys that watch my channel are like really hardcore Dynasty people. This video is for you because you're going to get even more updates and things of that nature. So without further ado, let's jump right into this. Let's go, baby.
Dynasty Mode Deep Dive is officially live, and we have a lot to break down. Now, this video is sponsored by EA because they did get me this information early so that I could get this video ready quickly for you guys. It's a lot to go into today. They dropped a trailer. They dropped a 76-page blog, which is insane. Takes a really long time to read.
76.
A lot of the information down so that this video won't
God damn.
Now, there's going to be more deep dives coming, more gameplay videos, and some exclusive footage that I'll have soon. If you don't want to miss out on all of that, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on, because we still got a lot more information coming before this game releases. Trying to get to 650k subs before the release of this game, so if everybody watching just subscribed, we could hit that number today. So to start out the deep dive, they mention how College Football 26 represents year 2 of their vision, a year focused on building on the foundation that was set last year. They've added a lot of stuff that the community wanted, they've listened to a lot of the feedback, and they've cleaned up some of the issues that they had. So let's start with building your coach. When starting your
Yeah, this right here was one of my favorite things in the trailer.
Head coaches and coordinators, each with authentic playbooks, schemes, tendencies, stats, and coaching abilities. In Dynasty Mode, you'll face real coaches with authentic playstyles both in games and on the recruiting trail. You can even hire them through the coaching carousel. If creating your own coach, New Gear Options lets you customize their look with everything from a hoodie and joggers to a quarter zip and jeans. You can even grace the sidelines with a sleeveless shirt and shorts. It's all up to you. You can now even customize.
What do you guys think about this hairstyle right here? I'll zoom in for you guys and edit. But what do you guys think about this hairstyle that Coach got? It's unique. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm kind of feeling it. I'm kind of fucking with it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm kind of fucking with it. I mean, got the beard. Come on now. Come on now. He got a little gains on. Got a little muscle on him. All right, Coach. You know he gonna be the one. You know this coach right here is the one that be in practice with the guys. Like, all right, give him your stance. Like he one of them. I love it.
Coach's demeanor and stance, whether calm and composed or fiery and intense, adding more personality to how they appear and act.
I'm definitely the fire and intense one.
Level caps will now be at 100, up from 50 from last year, with rebalanced XP rewards and a new progression curve for early momentum and long-term growth. Archetypes will also play a key role in this. For example, Tactician has the highest XP potential but requires wins. Motivator and Recruiter are steadier but offer lower ceilings. Now it says here that the 3 base archetypes, Recruiter, Motivator, and Tactician, now require a minimum coach level to unlock. This change encourages more focused investment early in your career, making that initial archetype choice even more meaningful. This helps reinforce the rock, paper, scissors relationship not just between archetypes, but also you and your coordinators. Choosing a staff that complements or counters your strengths is more important than ever. Each archetype you unlock becomes incrementally more expensive, encouraging more intentional choices as your coaching journey evolves. For example, if you start as a recruiter, becoming an elite recruiter will be much cheaper than trying to learn a completely new skill set and become a motivator. Just like in real life, it's easier to grow within an existing area or expertise than to take on a new and unrelated skill set. Program builder and CEO archetypes are the exceptions. As broader leadership-focused archetypes rather than specific coaching disciplines, they are not impacted by scaling costs and remain more accessible once you meet their unlock requirements. The program builder's friends and family discount lowers archetype costs if another coach already owns them.
Friends and
rewarding
family
smart staff
discount.
choices. Archetype abilities have also been rebalanced to emphasize trade-offs, with adjusted costs and new abilities to deepen specialization and coaching identity. Moving on to the coaching carousel. This is an area that did need some improvement. It says you'll now receive notifications when coordinators accept or decline job offers, as well as alerts when one is
I
pulled for an
love that right
opportunity.
there.
It says they've
I'm
also
surprised I
introduced
wasn't in
program builder
25.
abilities that give you more control over the hiring and retention process. Forever Home, your coordinators are less likely to leave for another job. Deal Sweetener, coordinators are more likely to accept your job offer. And Cream of the Crop increases the caliber of coordinators available for you to hire. Top coaches now get better job offers, and the staff move screen shows each coach's old/new role, school, and reason for leaving. Moving on to the trophy room, something that was highly requested.
Yeah, it looks so
Dynasty,
good.
a trophy is added to your personal trophy room, viewable from the Dynasty Hub or main menu.
Bro, look
Each
at
Dynasty
these.
has its own room tracking over 160 possible trophies with detailed info like year, team,
Got the
opponent,
Fiesta
and
Bowl.
player. The trophy room is shared across all modes: Dynasty, Road to Glory, Play Now, and Road to the College Football Playoff, keeping your legacy alive no matter
I
what
love
you
to see
play.
that,
I
by
think
the
it's
way.
pretty cool. So you can share this across any different mode that you play and just rack up trophies. Now let's move on to the part about building your program. So this is where we're going to talk about transfer portal, recruiting, and stuff like that. Starting with the transfer portal, which was another area that definitely needed some work. The transfer portal in College Football 26 is now more unpredictable, with around 2,000 players entering annually, forcing tough roster decisions.
That's a
Star ratings are
crazy
now
ass
based
number.
more on position and class year, not just overall. You can build through
The
the
transfer
portal
portal
or
has just
impact
made
or
it
develop
like,
high school talent, each with its
I
own
don't know.
unique
Everything is
challenges.
just crazy
Making
now.
players
You don't know if your
consistent
if your
and
favorite player
managing
going to stay.
expectations plays a big role in keeping your roster intact. In College 26, every player now has a defined deal breaker, a key expectation that, if unmet, could lead them to enter the transfer portal. New this year is conference prestige as a deal breaker and a revamped playing time system that now considers actual snaps played, not just depth chart position. In College 26, every player now has a deal breaker, giving each one a clearly defined expectation and a chance to enter the portal if that expectation isn't met. Even players without playing time as their main deal breaker, especially QBs, 5 stars, and top backups, may still leave if they're not seeing the field as they would in real life. This adds realism, discourages talent hoarding, and brings risk to redshirting players, especially in online dynasties where cheese tactics are now more
I just
common.
realized they got
Teams afford
Jeremiah
a
Smith,
bunch of players doesn't
Jeremiah
mean they're
Smith
not
up
playing.
here. Are they
Which brings us
are
to
they
the
predicting
dynamic
something?
deal breakers. These replace the fixed B grade threshold from College Football 25. Now player expectations evolve with performance. Better players demand more. This mimics real life big fish in a small pond moves, as
Not tripping.
breakout stars may transfer to bigger programs when their current school no longer matches their rising goals. Expectations like academic overall rating or star ranking. For example, Tennessee's QB left for UCLA after his brand deal breaker demands grew. The system makes transfers feel more natural and reflective of modern
Oh
college
yeah, I
football.
did see that.
Coach and staff choices directly affect how well you manage evolving player expectations. But there are some key abilities here that can help you, like lower the bar, which is a strategist ability. This lowers the grade needed to meet deal breakers up to 1 full letter. The family atmosphere master motivator ability reduces transfer likelihood even if expectations aren't met. Program Builder also has abilities such as Gift of Gab, Roster Retainer, and Full Refund. This improves the chances to persuade players to stay. As players grow, their demands change. Adapting your strategy is crucial to long-term success. Every program's identity is defined by its My School grades, which measures strengths and weaknesses across 14 categories. The grade curve has been rebalanced with fewer teams in the A-B range, making differentiation clearer between top-tier programs and the rest. A major change is in pro potential. Previously, based on current rosters, it's now determined by a school's draft history over the past 4 seasons, tracked by position. This means you can now clearly see which schools are consistently sending talent to the next level and who truly deserves the title of wide receiver U. And they also did add in some
LSU
customization in the settings. You can set max transfers per team now. You can adjust the transfer probability on user teams, which scales how likely a player is to transfer if their deal breaker is violated. You could also do this for CPU teams as well. Improvements to playing style now better reflect team performance rather than individual stats, especially on defense. Defensive players are now evaluated by team stats like passing or rushing yards allowed, offering a more accurate portrayal of how your team plays. Additionally, starting grades for every team have been adjusted to align more closely with real-world standings, utilizing the new grading distribution for a fairer reflection. Now that brings us to something new that is called location-based recruiting. Visit costs will depend.
This right here, I was really intrigued by in the trailer.
From 10 to 40 recruiting hours, making local recruiting more efficient and forcing strategic choices based on geography and budget. The CEO archetype's more the merrier ability doubles weekly visit capacity from 4 to 8, while the strategist perk adds bonus XP when visitors come during wins. Stacking the strategist coordinator with the CEO's 8 visitor cap, and you can massively boost coach XP. Coordinating archetype perks like this is now key for fast staff progression. Scouting in College Football 26 is now more streamlined and impactful. Attribute displays have been standardized by position, making it easier to compare recruits across different archetypes. Now, when comparing 2 players at the same position, you'll see their shared attributes lined up the same way every time, making comparisons easier. Plus, the Mind Reader ability, which is for the strategist archetype, now reveals a recruit's development trait during scouting, not just campus visits, giving you an early edge in spotting high upside talent. They've also added something called recruiting battles. Instead of committing right away, the recruit raises their commitment threshold, giving 2 schools a short window to make one final push. It's a head-to-head sprint.
Oh, damn,
First hit
okay.
of the new bar lands the recruit. No more mystery, just a clear fight to the finish. And they also did a lot of work with recruit generation. In College Football 26, it now generates 4,100 recruits per season, creating a deeper, more varied
4,100?
especially athletes are rare, making them more valuable. Brand exposure is now a key pitch.
Every number I'm hearing is just, it's crazy, man.
Edge rusher, aligning with NIL expectations. Deal breakers and pitches have been rebalanced to create more overlap, requiring deeper scouting. High school recruits now start lighter, with more natural weight progression, and a new lean body type represents wiry, underdeveloped athletes, especially at the wide.
We got a new body type, you heard that?
Now have more overlap, making it harder to quickly identify a recruit's ideal pitch. You'll need to dig deeper. They've also done a lot of work with the sway mechanic. It says sway is now clearer and more strategic in College 26. It lets you add a second or even third ideal pitch when your school doesn't align with the recruit's preferences. You'll now see the success probability before using it, based on how much motivational overlap exists. Successful sways are visually marked on your board, making it easy to spot recruits you've influenced. Success with sway still relies on pitch overlap, but the persuasive personality ability for the recruiter archetype will boost your odds. It's especially useful when you're behind and need a new path in. Used wisely, sway can shift a recruiting battle in your favor. They've also added some quality of life upgrades to recruiting, making it faster and easier to manage your board. Team needs are now pinned to the top of the prospect list and update in real time. Up and down arrows now show if you're rising or falling on a recruit's top schools. Red dots and highlights signal when the recruit.
I think they had that in the old college football.
Favor recruits by double tapping triangle or Y, which helps track your top targets. New search filters include max star rating, pipeline level, and recruiting stage, and these tools will just help you recruit smarter, quicker, and stay focused. They've also done some work with player progression. It says player development is crucial to building a championship. In College 26, progression has been rebalanced and expanded to create more realistic growth, greater player differentiation, and clearer separation between programs. In College 26, player progression is more gradual and realistic. The number of skill group levels has increased from 10 to 20, allowing for smoother development. Players with high development traits, impact, star, and elite, will progress more consistently, while physical changes like weight gain now occur during the offseason, reflecting player maturity. Your school's athletic facilities grade now impact player progression. with better facilities boosting development. This adds another layer to program building, highlighting the gap between elite schools and others. Moving on to physical abilities. In College 26, some abilities now require 2 attribute ratings to unlock, making top-tier abilities rare and increasing player differentiation. For example, Platinum Shifty will now require 97 change of direction and 96 acceleration for wide receivers. The archetype system has also
Okay.
been overhauled, introducing new player types
That's an
and
interesting
physical
change.
ability combinations to better reflect the diversity of players in college football. Player performance now directly influences their long-term potential. If a player excels during the season, they may upgrade their development trait during the offseason. Upgrading depends on their stats relative to the position, and it's harder to move up the higher their current trait. The Gains Getter ability, which is for the CEO archetype, increases the odds of upgrading. If a player's trait upgrades, you'll get a notification and see it highlighted in the training results screen. The training results screen has also been revamped for better visibility into a player's growth. You can now see how much each attribute increased for every player, along with their weight gain, upgraded abilities, and any change to their development trait. This provides a clearer view of the offseason progression, which is great because this was one of the bigger annoyances last year. You didn't really see where they improved and by how much. You had to kind of remember, which was pretty impossible for an entire team.
Oh.
There's also manual.
Well, let's just like you read down. By the way,
control over player development.
I just want to give a little thing. I had a homeboy, have a homeboy that is really into this Dynasty and stuff. And he actually writes down, like he has like a what is it called? A notebook of players and at every position for the schools that he like chooses. And he has every detail of that player. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I'm gonna have to try to get him up here one day,
Active players earn
so he can show you guys.
Don't automatically spend them. You can manually allocate skill points to a player's player card. To maintain balance, manual progression does have a default 25% nerf, which can be adjusted or turned off by the Dynasty Commissioner. Moving on to position changes, these now come with more realistic challenges. When a player switches positions, they retain only the ability shared between their old and new archetypes. Skill group caps are adjusted based on how closely the new position aligns with the old.
So it kind of like a pro and a con to changing positions.
To an offensive tackle. The further apart the positions are, the harder the transition. The player module will show which abilities are retained, and the player's development trait remains the same, ensuring consistent growth as they adapt in their new role. Now let's talk about managing wear and tear. In College 26, player durability is influenced by how
wear and tear. Yes, sir.
Each hit adds up. Some players can withstand more wear and tear, while others break down under repeated impacts. In College 26, each player has a season and career health that determines how much wear and tear they can recover in a season and over their career. Once a player's season health pool is depleted, they can't recover damage until the offseason.
I remember seeing this in the trailer, and this was just crazy to see and hear. So you gotta be really, really cautious about how you do things, which is how it should be.
But its size depends on how much was left at the end. Players with a nearly empty pool start the next season with a smaller one, while those with a full pool maintain a larger one. You'll now manage a player's career clock with how much they're used each season, affecting their longevity, adding more strategic decisions about player usage and health management throughout the year. Now, they talk about this in the gameplay deep dive, but they have added new auto subs and stuff like that to the game, and there's some different ones that you can use, such as Keep Fresh, which prioritizes rotating players out early to limit accumulated wear and tear. You can have it on normal, which is a balanced approach that will keep a steady rotation. You can set your auto sub to grind it out, where players will stay in even if they have significant wear and tear.
I will probably put mine on normal because it's like a balance of the two.
Settings to help deal with the new wear and tear system.
Because I'm definitely not auto sub type of person. Like, I run my players into the ground.
Players to how much they replenish between quarters and halftime, so you can kind of tailor this to your liking. Now let's move on to some other stuff here for Dynasty, and here we're going to talk about the history. They've done a lot of work with this. It says in College 26, the new college football history feature allows you to relive your Dynasty's legacy.
This is a really cool thing.
Stats and records tab in the Dynasty Hub, it tracks national champions dating back to 1869, conference champions.
Think about 1869?
Such as Heisman and Coach of the Year. You can filter records by team or conference, exploring the evolution of conferences.
None of us was even born.
This feature does grow with your dynasty, preserving every moment and champions across 30 seasons. Additionally, 14 new awards have been adding, including the Maxwell and the Walter Camp Awards, along with a rebalanced evaluation of defensive stats for award considerations. In College 26, you can now view a player's full history of awards and accolades directly from their player card. Simply navigate the More tab, go to
Oh,
stats,
you could see
filter
the
awards.
full.
This section displays all their
Oh, I did
individual
not know
honors,
about
including
that.
Heisman trophies, conference championships, All-American, and
I ain't gonna
All-Conference
lie.
selections, players of
All
the
my
honor
players,
system,
all my
and
players gonna
team
have
building.
all the
They've also
awards.
done a lot of work behind the numbers, like stat tracking and tiebreakers. They go into detail about how the tiebreakers didn't always work out correctly last year, and they upgraded logic to better align with how real-world conferences settle their standings and to ensure outcomes make sense. So they've improved tiebreaker logic throughout the entire mode. But they've also done good work with player stats. It says the box score now displays the total number of plays and yards per play. They've also added new metrics within the season stats, career stats, and team stats. So for example, for quarterbacks, you can now see their touchdown percentage, sack rate, interception percentage, their touchdown to interception ratio, net yards per attempt, adjusted net yards per pass attempt, which is all really cool stuff. For running backs, you'll see their fumble rate. For punters, you'll see their touchback percentage. For team stats, you'll see total yards per game, rushing yards per game, passing yards per game, yards per play. For defense, you'll see yards allowed per game, rush yards allowed per game, pass yards allowed per game, points allowed per game, and sacks per game. You'll also see penalties per game and penalty yards per game. Moving on to new positions and archetypes. They've done a lot of work with that this year. Of course, they've updated the position terminology, which most of you, I think, know by now. So instead of defensive
Yeah, they
end,
did the same
there's
thing in
edge.
Madden
They have
as
the
well.
Sam, Will, and Mike linebackers. They have long snappers. They have the gadget position. They
Which
have
for
nose
people
tackle.
that like
So now
are
you
really
have
into
the
this,
correct
they're gonna
positions,
love
and this
that.
helps a lot when it comes to team building and recruiting. They've also added some new archetypes. So some positions like wide
Ooh,
receiver now
okay.
feature 7 unique archetypes, each designed to capture a distinct play style. Here's a breakdown of which makes each
All right, we
one
got
unique.
7
So
for
you
the
have
wide
a
receivers.
speedster wide receiver, which is a pure burner who takes the top off the defense, not a tactician, but lethal in space. You have a route artist. You have the physical route runner, the elusive route runner, the gritty possession receiver, the gadget receiver, a guy that could do it all. He could take snaps at QB and
Okay, so like a Taysom Hill.
Tested specialist. So they're just getting more detailed with archetypes now, and this is going to play into what abilities they can get and how they can progress. Moving on to formation subs, one of the biggest requests last year, probably along with the trophy room for Dynasty, that's now here. This brings more creativity to your team's strategy, allowing you to assign specific players to particular formations for mismatches and exploiting opponents' weaknesses. 50 formation subs per team. You can now set 50 formation substitutions, allowing for a wide variety of tactical advantages. The subs will carry over season to season unless a player leaves or you switch teams. If you switch playbooks, any formation shared between the old and new will retain the assigned subs, keeping your strategies intact, which I think that's just a small but really good thing that they added there. Moving on to custom conferences and protected opponents, this is another area that needed work. They've been improved to ensure scheduling integrity across multi-year dynasties. You can now lock in annual matchups regardless of division changes, allowing rivalries like Michigan and Ohio State to persist every year. Most conferences...
By the way, the locking of like regardless of like how you change everything, I love that feature right there, and I think that's one of the most underrated things. But it's gonna make it feel more real, you know. And I like that right there. So you just can't. So I think the example they used was Ohio State and Michigan. If you hit the lock, I mean if you do the lock thing, it's always gonna be there. No, regardless of which conference they're in now and this and that. I like that change.
support
I like that
protected
ad.
opponents
You
per
made
team,
that clear.
depending on the number of teams in conference games. Some setups may not support protected opponents due to scheduling constraints. Customizing conferences, you can now enable and disable protected opponents and adjust other conferences settings via the conference rules screen. You can also regenerate all protected matchups with the R3 button. They've also made scheduling updates to align with real-world games and where they're played. They've also made updates to the college football playoff to fit the new format. This offseason, the college football playoff has changed so that now the top 4 teams in the college football playoff rankings receive first-round buys, Previously, the buys were awarded
Oh
to the four
yeah.
highest ranked conference champions, so that change is going to
I
be
did
impactful as
see
well.
that
They've
change.
also just made some quality of life changes. For example, quick access to player info. Anytime a player appears in a spreadsheet, you can now press triangle or Y to open their player card, or R3 or the right stick to view their stats and award history. That's a great change that was needed. Player stats and attributes are everywhere. Anywhere they appear in a spreadsheet, you'll now be able to access their season stats and player module. In addition to the two new player module panels, you can now view a player's dev trait in the ability sub-panel. There's a quick access to the team schedule within the conference standings and top 25 poll screens. You can now press triangle or Y to view the full team schedule. In the Dynasty Hub, they've added a new tab called Members. The Members tab lets you see every user in your online Dynasty or every coach character in your offline Dynasty. For each team, it shows their username, their team, their top 25 rank, their current week matchup and result, platform, online status, and whether they're ready to advance. As a commissioner, the Members tab is now where you will make all your commissioner actions like adding or removing users, toggling autopilot, promoting or demoting, transferring Dynasty ownership, inviting new users, etc. And they've added crossplay, which I think most of you know by now, but yes, Dynasty mode will be crossplay this year.
I'm excited for that.
That they added, like dynamic time
I'm
of day,
so glad they added that
notifications,
feature.
and the presentation
Crossplay,
deflaw, but they now have
baby.
dynamic time of day, so the lighting and all that stuff will change based on the time and the quarter. They've also added some super sim tempo adjustments. Teams who run up-tempo style of play will now have an increased number of snaps during their game, better reflecting their style of play. There also is broken records feedback. When a player in your team breaks a single game, season, or career record, you will now receive a full screen takeover, which is awesome. For the coach stats screen, you can now see the offensive and defensive coordinator stats. They also made a force win update. It says when forcing a win or loss, it now says the name of the team you are forcing a win for, so you no longer have to guess which team is home or away. Combined opponent record.
Ooh, I like that. I like that change.
Combined opponent record, giving you a quick snapshot of their.
I'll probably do like a force win thing, like
a confirmation pop-up will now appear when you
my third year maybe.
Week, helping prevent accidental clicks that can cost you a national championship. You can now
damn. Imagine you do a forced loss on a national championship game.
Rather than specific week.
That's a controller throw right there.
Well, there's redshirt updates. Players can now play in postseason games without them counting against their redshirt eligibility. Additionally, now when you redshirt a player, it will not reset the entire depth chart. Instead, it will only alter the positions that player was in the depth chart for. Scouting ability info. If you'd like to know more about what an ability is when scouting a player, you can highlight the ability on the right side panel and it will display a tooltip informing you what it does. Moving on to Team Builder, it says, this has now received major updates following community's positive feedback. It's no longer in beta.
Ooh.
Great. You should get faster performance. The site is now 2 times faster, and it's now accessible
Alright.
to a wider.
I like to hear that for Team Builder. It was in beta the whole year, wasn't it?
Customization. Previously, it was limited to 10 custom images. You can now upload up to 5 megabytes of custom content per team, giving you more creative freedom to customize your teams with as many images and textures as you need.
Okay.
File size limit.
Alright, cop it up like that.
With the Dynasty mode, allowing for smoother and more seamless team creation and management. In College 26, you can also import your College Football 25 teams directly into the new game, preserving the time and creativity.
I remember him talking about that.
Details here for Team Builder. So when it comes to your school grades, you can set your school grades and define their identity. These grades help shape your program's strengths and weaknesses, and you can select from unique templates to define your team's starting point. Whether you're aiming to be a powerhouse, a pro factory, or a cupcake trying to rise to prominence, there's a cup.
Wait a minute. That's what they called them? Cupcakes? That's crazy.
Your program. After selecting a template, you'll see your program's projected team prestige and my school grades. Some grades are shown in exact values, while others appear in ranges, which can vary based on other elements. Factors that influence grades. Stadium atmosphere is adjusted based on the size of the stadium you select. Championship contender, this grade depends on the team you replace in Dynasty mode as you inherit their preseason ranking. Coach stability, coach prestige, and conference prestige.
Okay, so you get their preseason rankings. So if like the rankings, if they ain't even ranked,
and they've also enhanced the roster editing. It now has its
you
own
in
dedicated
trouble.
tab with enhanced features designed to give you more control over your team. You can now view your team's overall offensive and defensive ratings at the top of your roster screen, with these values updating in real time as you make changes. When you view an individual player, you'll also be able to see their overall rating, so you always know how your edits impact the team's performance. This makes roster management more intuitive and gives you a clear understanding of how each change affects your team. When editing a player, When editing a player, you'll find two new tabs, Bio and Skill Ratings. The Bio tab lets you modify key player details and appearance. Within this tab, you can edit the following fields: their first and last name, previous redshirt status, high school star rating, and deal breaker. As mentioned in the Dynasty discussion, all players now have dynamic deal breakers, and the deal breaker threshold will determine when you import your team into Dynasty mode based on the player's final overall. In the Skill Ratings and Abilities tab, you can control a player's strength and growth. You can set their archetype, which determines their physical abilities. You can set their development trait, their potential, which impacts their skill caps. Physical abilities can be assigned a tier, none to platinum, based on the player's attributes with prompts to adjust ratings if needed. You can also fully customize your recruiting pipelines. Each pipeline is assigned a tier 1 to 5, with tier 5 being the strongest. You can adjust these pipelines based on your school's history or strategic goals. You can also create up to 5 rivalries for your team builder team. Define the rival team, rivalry name, first year, all-time stats record, last game's winner, and score. This info carries into Dynasty mode. Simply set a rival and replace them with your team builder school. And they've also added some generic stadiums. It says there's 3 generic stadiums and a high school stadium to give you more flexibility when creating or customizing
And we got
your
high
team.
school
All generic
stadium.
stadiums are small
Oh
to
shit!
medium
Now,
sized and do not feature any team branding. Now, another big part of Dynasty mode is presentation, and yesterday we got
oh
presentation.
yeah, we did. Oh my goodness, that was a lot. I'm loving what I'm hearing right now, and I loved what I did see in that trailer. Like I said, if you have not watched that, the trailer on your own, you ain't got to. You can watch it on my channel. You know, go watch it with me. You know, hear my little commentary and let me know what you think about it. But also let me know what you think about what Eric Rayweather have just read out to you guys. Yeah, what's you know what? Here's a better question. What is your favorite thing that they talked about in Dynasty mode? I'm gonna quiz you guys. Was you really paying attention? What's your favorite thing that they talked about in Dynasty mode? Leave it in the comments below. Love you guys and see you guys in the next one.